What's up everybody, welcome back to Double T Gaming. I hope everyone is having a great day today. And on this day, we're diving back into the Turtle WoW versus Blizzard lawsuit. Now I know I just made an update video on this last week, but in just those few days, we have had some major new filings, so I want to be sure to keep you all updated. And I won't be spending too long on the intro this time, but real quick, if you have not already, hit the sub button for everything Classic Plus, Turtle, Epoch, Bronzebeard, or anything Blizzard lawsuit related. But anyway, let's go ahead and get moving. Just a quick disclaimer that I have to say first, I am not a lawyer. Everything here is pulled straight from the public court docket, and this is just my understanding of what's happening. If I get something wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments below. I'll also link the court listener docket down in the description. You can subscribe there to get email alerts every time a new document drops. So just a quick recap of the last video in case you missed it. Of all of the Turtle WoW team, Josiah Zimmer was always in the toughest spot because he's based in the US, making him the easiest for Blizzard to reach. On September 30th, Blizzard's legal team sent Zimmer a waiver of service request, and his lawyer, Frederick M. Douglas, signed it on October 1st, agreeing to skip formal service. That means Blizzard didn't have to send someone to physically track Zimmer down. He had officially acknowledged the lawsuit and entered into the process voluntarily. He now has until December 1st to respond in court, either with a motion to dismiss or a full answer to Blizzard's claims. So Zimmer is officially the first defendant to appear in this case. Then on October 3rd, Douglas filed a notice of appearance basically saying, "I represent Zimmer, send all future filings to me." So from here on, all communications go through Douglas, confirming that Zimmer plans to actively defend himself instead of ignoring the case. At that time, and still to this day, Zimmer is the only defendant that has actually been served. So it's likely Blizzard is still trying to reach the other targets of the lawsuit internationally. So that is where we left off. Blizzard has their eyes set on Zimmer and plans to move forward with him as they try to get the others served. Now let's move on to some new things that I did not cover. On October 6th, the case was officially reassigned to a new judge, Judge Stephen V. Wilson in the Central District of California. Now doing some quick research on Judge Wilson specifically, he's handled quite a few notable copyright cases, including ones involving Columbia Pictures and MGM. People say he's known for being tough on infringement, especially when it's organized or commercial in nature. If you're using someone else's work to build a platform, like a private server running on Blizzard's client, he's not very sympathetic. But he also doesn't really like vague claims and prefers tight factual arguments. So while Blizzard's probably happy to have him on the case, they'll still need to back up their more aggressive claims like the RICO charge they tried throwing in, which was always a long shot for them, I think. Long story short, Judge Wilson is the kind of judge who'll probably hammer on clear infringement, but he'll cut anything Blizzard can't back up. On October 8th, two more out-of-state attorneys joined Zimmer's defense team, Enoxano Lucina and Kyle A. Seiss. That signals Zimmer is taking this very seriously and building a team ready to handle international jurisdiction and intellectual property issues, since parts of Turtle WoW setups touch multiple countries. Now for the big one. On October 10th, Blizzard filed what's called an ex parte application for limited early discovery. Basically, ex parte means that Blizzard is asking the court to do something before the normal discovery process starts, and possibly without notifying the other side first. They're telling the judge that we need to move fast before key evidence or identities disappear. They want permission to start limited early discovery, specifically to identify the unknown people behind the scenes, known as the Turtle Defendants. Now what exactly are Turtle Defendants? Well, when a company like Blizzard files a lawsuit, sometimes they know that more people are involved, but they don't know their real names yet. So they list placeholders like Turtle 1, Turtle 2, Turtle 3, etc. These are the unidentified individuals who might be hosting servers, managing donations, or helping with the Turtle backend. Blizzard believes they exist, but they need discovery, like IP records or account data, to figure out who they are. That's what this ex parte application is about. Blizzard wants Judge Wilson to let them send subpoenas to companies like hosting providers, domain registers, or payment processors, basically anyone who might have data revealing who's really behind Turtle WoW's operation. If Wilson grants it, Blizzard can start finding those hidden names before regular discovery even starts. So just a few days later, on October 14th, Zimmer responded with his own filing, a declaration of opposing Blizzard's ex parte application. So in this declaration, Zimmer wrote that he has no idea who or where these Turtle defendants are and has never attempted to conceal, alter, or destroy any information about this matter, or did any out of the ordinary updates in his online profiles. He also emphasized that he basically has been following everything that the court and Blizzard has told him to do. He was served with a waiver of service that he accepted willingly. He is working on his response pleadings within the deadline he was given, and everything is going normal for a court case, and there is no need for any emergency expedited discovery phase. And he also added that he has never once withheld or destroyed any evidence or materials on this case at all. He then goes at Blizzard, saying that all allegations made against him appear to be made on information and belief and are very general in nature. He doesn't know any specific act that he has performed that meets these allegations Blizzard is making, and that Blizzard's language confirms that they rely on speculation about the roles of unidentified individuals, and nothing actually ties Zimmer to any act of copying, hosting, or any technical operation on this server. So he's essentially saying, I don't know who these people are or where they are that you guys are claiming are Turtle Defendants. I'm doing everything that you and the court ask of me in a reasonable amount of time. Your argument is based on speculation. There is no need for advanced discovery. And the main quote about the Turtle Defendants basically undercuts Blizzard's claim that he is connected to the larger Turtle WoW network at all. So right now, Judge Wilson has two filings in front of him: Blizzard's motion to dig for the names and Zimmer's declaration telling him it's unnecessary and overreaching. Whatever Wilson decide could maybe set a tone for how aggressive this case could get. Now, as of right now today, there is an official reply motion to this that has already been filed, most likely by Blizzard, doing a brief response to Zimmer's declaration. But unfortunately, this is not yet publicly available for us to view to see what it really means or what it says. So will Judge Wilson approve it based on his past records? Probably yes, but within limits. He's allowed similar early discovery requests before, but he keeps them tight and targeted. He might also require a notice provision so the targets get a warning before their info is released. So what does this mean for Zimmer and the others? Well, for Zimmer, it doesn't change his December 1st deadline, but it does add some pressure to it. If Blizzard subpoenas turn up logs, payments, or communications tying him more deeply to Turtle WoW Network, that could make his defense harder, but based on what Zimmer said, they won't find anything like that. But for the others that have not been served yet, it could mean their names get added next if they are found. So to kind of sum up Blizzard's strategy so far, simply as we can, 1, they lock in the US defendant being Zimmer, who is based out of Michigan. They are trying to use early discovery to identify everyone else involved. Most likely they will then amend the complaint to name them all as well, and then push for defaults or settlement from whoever does not fight back. And they could also be trying to send a message to other Classic Plus servers that they are serious about enforcement, but outside the US, in places like Russia or Kazakhstan, the US judgment doesn't carry much weight. So what do we need to watch out for next? Well, one is that motion, which was probably a reply from Blizzard to Zimmer's declaration. The other is whether or not Judge Wilson grants the ex-parte requests, and to that, whether new subpoenas get issued, which will show up as new filings, and whether Blizzard amends the complaint to name new people if they are able to discover more. Meanwhile, over at Turtle WoW, like I said in the last video, they still have not publicly acknowledged the case since a single Discord post the day it was filed. Since then, they've launched Ambershire's first raid phase, teased the next patch of Nightmares Reversal, and they celebrated their 7-year anniversary, acting like nothing is happening. With the actual servers and the staff overseas, they're likely pretty safe for now. But for Zimmer, the one in the US, Blizzard might try to make an example out of him. So in just a week, we have had a new judge added to this case. Zimmer building a defense team and Blizzard pushing for early discovery now met with Zimmer's official declaration saying he doesn't even know who the Turtle Defendants are that Blizzard is trying to find. So again, as of right now, Zimmer is the only member of the Turtle WoW team that has had any sort of response or officially been brought into the case. Blizzard is still trying to get those internationally that were listed on the complaint served and just needs to show reasonable efforts in doing that so that the case can continue on. But regardless, they are moving forward with Zimmer and trying to uncover all these unknown entities that are involved in the Turtle WoW infrastructure. So just to do a quick summary of everything that we just said, Blizzard has filed to try to do some early discovery to find out who are all the John Does a part of the Turtle WoW team, and Zimmer has filed in response to that, saying it's unnecessary and that they're reaching and everything is based on speculation. So what do you guys think? Will the judge grant this type of motion? Will Blizzard find any of these Turtle Defendants that they're looking for? Do you even care who these Turtle Defendants are? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and sub to the channel to stay up to date on everything going on with this case, as well as everything else Classic Plus. Thank you guys for watching. This is Double T Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video.